In the past on this channel, we've talked about the different types of computers. We've also talked about the different types of memory. So today, let's talk about the different types of networks instead. You probably have heard of the term LAN. We use that term a lot. And you may even have heard of its cousins, which are PANs, MANs, and WANs. What do these terms mean? In this Random Wednesday episode, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at these 4 terms, as well as some other related ones. And we'll put them all together so you can easily compare them against each other. You're watching another Random Wednesday episode on 0612 TV. Hello and welcome back to another Random Wednesday episode. So, the whole idea of all these terms is to actually tell us something more about a network. Now, what is a network? A network is really just a bunch of devices connected together. And while that is correct, it doesn't give us a lot of useful information, because all we really see is just a huge cloud of devices, all of which are connected somehow. Instead of looking at things this way, we can actually break down these networks depending on their size, depending on their proximity to each other, and that gives us a better description of how networks are actually formed. As mentioned earlier, the types of networks that are mentioned often are things like PAN, MAN, WAN, and of course LAN. All of these terms actually do have this specific meaning, so we'll actually look at each one of them in depth. They have also spawned a number of more specific and apparently less used versions of these terms, so we'll look at all of those as well, and we'll try to fit it into a big picture. So right, let us jump into taking a look at the 4 main types of networks. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the smallest of the lot and we'll work our way up, which is why we're going to start first with a PAN, also known as a personal area network. As its name implies, a personal area network is a small network centered about a person. So yeah, you can imagine the range of a personal area network to be pretty small. For example, in the vicinity of your desk, perhaps you have a computer there, you have your phone connected to your computer, you have a flash drive connected to your computer. They make up your personal area network. More recently, we have what is known as WPAN, or a wireless personal area network. And this could constitute things like a smartwatch that communicates over Bluetooth or a Bluetooth headset. So these are also part of your personal area network, but the difference is they are wireless. So yeah, this definition in and of itself tells us something very interesting about the term network. We normally think about networks as, computers connected together through a router, probably using Ethernet of some kind. But in truth, a network is really multiple devices connected together somehow. It doesn't have to be Ethernet. As you can see in this case, any form of wired connection or wireless connection all counts. So let's move on to the term you're probably familiar with, and that is LAN, or local area network. As its name implies, this network is local to a particular site, like a home or an office. As you know, LANs are mostly connected over Ethernet, though other less conventional means of connecting computers, like using coaxial cables or using USB cables, also exist, and they are also known as LANs. You probably have heard of a related term that is WLAN or wireless LAN, and that of course refers to technologies like Wi-Fi, where your LAN is actually connected wirelessly. Moving one step up the scale again, we have MAN, which stands for a Metropolitan Area Network, or a municipal area network, which is the word I cannot pronounce. Such networks span a larger area, normally within the range of a couple of blocks. Networks connected in this manner can use any technology that is capable of handling the load, be it Ethernet or something more advanced. They can also use wireless methods like microwave or radio waves. Finally, we move on to a WAN, or wide area network. Strictly speaking, a WAN is anything larger than a MAN, but when we think about WANs, we're thinking about things on a scale of, say, in a country or cross-continental, which means WANs are your networks at the largest scale. When a WAN is cross-continental, it is almost always carried by undersea fiber optic cables. So yeah, these cables actually go from one continent to another, carrying all of the internet traffic back and forth. For smaller examples of WANs, for example, in a country or in a state, well, you can still use other technologies like phone lines or radio waves. That is not to say fiber optic isn't used at all, it can be used if required. So that we have the four most important types of network, and we have them on a scale. Let's now look at some other more specific definitions and try to fit them into the same scale. We start off with a CAN, which stands for a Controller Area Network, which exists at roughly the scale of a PAN. Here's the deal. When we say controller, we're actually referring to things like microcontrollers. In other words, what do you expect a CAN to look like is a number of circuit boards and things like sensors and stuff like that connected together. There are a bunch of connected hardware that does not require a computer. Of course, their scale is generally small, and that is what places a CAN roughly around the scale of a PAN. A SAN is a specialized type of LAN, and it stands for a Storage Area Network. As its name implies, this is used to, put storage on a network. But this is not the same as buying some kind of storage that hooks up to your router, and you can access it over LAN. You see, a SAN is a network of storage devices, but when you connect it to your computer sees it as one local storage device. That is not the same as, having a storage device on LAN. So we've just looked at a whole bunch of networking terminology today, and hopefully that was not too confusing, particularly because they all sound the same. But yeah, that basically wraps it up for this episode. I hope you've gained some insights from all that rambling. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, you're watching 0612 TV. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, consider checking out the rest of my work on my channel. Alternatively, you may be interested in a playlist of my earlier work on computing and computer science topics. If you'd like to show me some monetary support, I am on Patreon. You can find a link to my campaign in the video description. Of course, you can simply like this video or leave a comment. I'll be sure to respond as soon as I can. To keep in touch with my future uploads, do subscribe to this channel. And for even more updates, check out the official Twitter account for this channel at 0612TV. Thank you for your support.